Hello nerds! I am going to unbox a board game for you, and not just any board game. This is Wingspan, which, if you are familiar with any of the hype around board gaming, this is the hottest game right now. It's from Stonemaier Games, and it has a beautiful bird theme, as you can see. So it's a hot game. Everybody's talking about Wingspan. Everybody's excited about it. So I'm going to give you a look inside the box. So first of all, I'll just take off the shrink here. And then we'll take a look at the back of the box, at some of the componentry. As you'll see, it's a 1 to 5 player game. Stonemaier is so good that they put a solo mode in all their games. It's 40 to 70 minutes, so a little under to a little over an hour. But you'll see the components here. This is a big, heavy box. This weighs several pounds, but you'll see right above my thumb, 170 bird cards. That's something a lot of folks are talking about. Stonemaier makes beautiful games, so let's take a look. Look at this. Beautiful artwork on every side of the box. Well, first of all, it says appendix. Oh, there are 3 of these. Holy smokes. So these are the rules for the solo mode. So we'll set those off to the side. The appendix, let's look into this. Oh, just a quick reference, some bird powers, everything. This is linen paper. This is nice. But here are the instructions. It gives the components. Gosh, the artwork even in the rule book is great. Now, a lot of folks are talking about this bird theme. For some folks, they're already complaining. Some people, they just need zombies. Listen, I like zombies, but this bird theme is great because the average person can come into this and not feel intimidated by the theme and just feel welcome by the theme. I, for one, got an A in my college ornithology class, so I love birds and watching birds, and I don't do it much anymore, so now I can do it on the table. Well, this is interesting here. I think it's worthwhile to show this because it shows the main game board of the game. So this won't be an instructional video because I don't know how to play. I'm opening it for the very first time, but I wanted to give everybody just a quick look at some of the components and whatnot. I think it's worth breaking out these dice. These are big, giant wooden dice. And I think this is how you feed your birds, if I remember correctly. So as you can see, some birds, they eat little rodents. Some birds nip on seeds. I think this is like an either or, like little insects or a seed. Fish. So that's cool. You roll these dice to see if you feed your birds. That's fun. And from what I understand, all these eggs, which are just really fun, these eggs, the colors don't mean anything, I think. I think the colors are just to have it fun, having the different colors, but you have these little eggs and they'll set up and they're your little markers. And how fun that the game's components, themed as birds, they have eggs. I think these are the containers that come in for the eggs and the cubes and whatnot, so that's fun. So as you can see already, it's super well designed. Everything is thought out well, even fun containers to get things out of these bags and into containers for storage. Then look at this. This is fun as well. Look at this tray. Now what this tray is, I understand this is designed by a company called Game Trays. And you store your cards in here. And then as you play, you put your 3 cards there for display. And those are your cards you choose. Some folks are like, hey, you know, is this really necessary to have this tray? And I'm like, listen. It's not like board games are at the top of, you know, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. We don't need this, but this, man, this is art. We need this for our souls. This is good stuff. So well designed, and I love that board games and board game companies like Stonemaier are just really thinking through all the componentry. That's great. Scorecard. So this is how you score, I guess. 1 point each eggs, food on cards. Again, I don't know how to play, so I'm looking at that for the first time. This is some sort of round tracker. I don't know what that's about. And this, though, is interesting. This is a player board, I think. Look at that. It looks like a little portfolio, as if you're a little Twitter birder keeping a life list. So each player will get a board, from what I understand. Some folks have talked about how this game is similar to Terraforming Mars. I don't know. I think what they are responding to is how Terraforming Mars, you have to keep several engines running at a time. So this is the way Wingspan works, from what I understand. You collect your cards, you put them, as you gain more cards, you essentially power up, and there's 3 different places to do that. So you have to balance. You can't just put them all here and neglect others, or maybe you can, or maybe you want to be even, but you're trying to build your power up on this track. So that's cool. Every player gets one of those, I'm assuming. Yeah, so 1 to 5 players, there are your tracks. That's fun. Now look at this. This is fun. I'm gonna flip this really quick so we can get it out. Of course, all great games have cardboard. In this game, to roll the dice that we looked at before, you build a birdhouse. How fun is that? So you'll punch the cardboard. Here, I'll punch this one out so you can see. You build your dice tower birdhouse. And then, from what I understand, this fits in the box. Everything's stored well with your game trays and all your cards. That is just great. I love it. I love stuff like that. So much attention to detail. It's great. But this is why we are looking at this. We want to see the cards. So I showed you at the beginning, in the back of the box, 170 bird cards. And here they are. We understand they each have unique artwork, all of them. And gosh, you can just tell already how great these are. These are, let's see. Oh, I got shrink stuck to my finger. These are nice, sturdy cards. They feel good. But look at that. Palliated Woodpecker. This, my friends, is on my life list. I have seen these in the wild. So I'm awesome. Meadowlark, lemon, grasshopper sparrow. Oh, here's more sparrows. Look at all these. Quail, bobwhite, mourning dove, order Columbiformes, Baltimore oriole, crossbill, bunting, the crow, several crows actually. These are just beautiful, beautiful. Each of them, mockingbirds, wrens. And so you gather these cards, you put them across the player board, and that's how you power up and build your engine. So as you can see, the cards fit on these. Maybe you got this here, and as you go across further, see how this one had 2 eggs. This one has 3, obviously. Again, I don't quite know what that means, other than they get a little more powerful. How great that is. I love it. I want you to be able to look at more of these cards, because they really are great. 170 of them, all unique. I just think this is fantastic. I'm tremendously excited about this game. And again, I do like birds, and even though I'm not an avid bird guy, I appreciate the beauty of them. But for the general person, this has got to be just a great theme. Wild turkey, Ben Franklin would love that. Swans, woodcocks, shrikes. Look at that. These are just beautiful. Oh, turkey vulture, black vulture, chickadees, more chickadees, a blue jay. They are bully birds. They kick other birds out of their nest and steal their eggs. Red-headed woodpecker. I've also seen one of those on my life list. Red-bellied woodpecker. Woodpeckers are fun. Loons. I'm looking here. I'm in Minnesota. Most of these birds, they just fly right past us onto better climates. But one more pack. Let's get this open quickly, and I'll show you the rest of the cards, and we'll talk about The birds. I'm not going to talk about the bees because I'm not your dad, thankfully. Look at this. Beautiful, beautiful artwork. Bluebirds, herons. Oh, we're getting into something different here. These are some cards that I don't know what they do. So this is also part of the game. We'll have to learn this a little later. These are, I think, for single player. So this is for solo mode. So this must be the solo card decks. But then they also have some helpful cards. Just while you learn the actions, that's always helpful. But then here's some more birds to round us out. The bald eagle, America. Warbler. Well, that's a nice looking bird. Another woodpecker, a crane. Oh, the owls. Some of my favorites. Finch, bunting, a prairie chicken. Oh, that's a strange bird. Now, if you look, let's look at this strange bird. Let's actually look at the puffin. So if you want to know what a porg is, that's the inspiration. So if you see each of these birds, they have special qualities to them. Puffin is one egg. When played, draw 2 new bonus cards and keep 1. It tells a little bit about the habitat, which I think is great, actually. I like to get smarter, so you learn a little bit as you have fun. Now let's compare it to this. Now you see, I don't know what these feathers are, but it's 8 to 3. I think maybe that's habitat, perhaps, but this is 3 eggs for this. When played, draw 2 new bonus cards and keep 1. Oh, and if you'll see here, this is the habitat actually, so water and then grasslands. Now this, so puffins, they dive for fish. That's what they eat. So when you roll the dice, fish was on 1, and then you'll notice insects and seeds were on some of the dice. So isn't that great? I love it. It's just a beautiful, beautiful game. And again, the cards will be stored in this tray when you're not playing. That's how it's stored. And then when you play, your cards are displayed up here. So this tray becomes playboard. Everything is well thought out. You get extra containers. Wingspan, it is for 1 to 5 players because it has a solo mode. Ages 10 plus. I think it's a mid-weight game, so it's probably not a person's first game like a Ticket to Ride, but I think a person who has played a few hobby games is able to get into this from what I understand. Plays in a little under an hour, maybe over an hour. But again, that is Wingspan by Stonemaier Games. Later, nerds.